Cancer is the second leading cause of death worldwide. 10 million people die from cancer. This number is much higher than combined death from wars, crimes, and accidents. Almost 40% of cancer cases are caused by the foods we keep in our fridge. Colorectal, stomach, liver, esophageal, breast, and endometrial cancers are especially related to food choices and obesity. The first and most important food you should remove urgently is processed meats, like ham, bacon, sausages, and hot dogs. These are often preserved with nitrates and nitrites. In the body, these turn into nitrosamines, which are well-known carcinogens. Nitrosamines damage DNA in the cells, usually in colon and rectum, and increase the risk of cancer development. The evidence level is very high. There is no question here. Processed meat causes cancer. Cooking these meats at high temperature, like frying, grilling, or smoking, creates heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, both of which are also carcinogenic. Many processed meats are also very high in salt, and salt alone is proven risk factor for gastric cancer. Even just 50 grams, about 2 slices of bacon or 1 hot dog, daily increase colorectal cancer risk around 18%. Also increases the chance of stomach cancer around 30%, mainly because of high nitrates, salt, and smoked meat content. Pancreatic cancer risk goes up by around 90% with frequent processed meat intake, and pancreatic cancer is one of the most aggressive and deadly cancer. These risks are confirmed by large studies, so it's clear that processed meat is far from harmless. The second most important food that increases cancer risk is red meat, like beef, pork, and lamb. Eating the meat regularly, especially 100 grams daily, raises colorectal cancer risk around 12%. The main danger comes from heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons formed when red meat is grilled, barbecued, or fried. The more you eat, the higher your risk. Keep the meat intake below 350 grams per week. The safest choice is to eat red meat rarely. Red meat also contains heme iron, which is an independent risk for colorectal cancer because it damages the gut lining when absorbed. Red meat increases not only colorectal cancer but also pancreatic and prostate cancer risk. Sugary drinks and soda like cola, sweetened tea, and fruit-flavored beverages are strongly linked to obesity, and the obesity is a major cause of several cancers. Excess body weight can increase risk of cancer by 84%, depending on the type, because it leads to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, increased estrogen, and higher growth factor levels, all of which help cancer cells survive and multiply. Obesity, especially associated with colorectal cancer, breast, and endometrial cancer, also increases risk of kidney, pancreatic, esophageal, liver, gallbladder, stomach, and thyroid cancers. To lower your risk, it's crucial to reduce or completely avoid sugary drinks. Water remains best option. If you crave something sweet, zero-calorie sodas are a safer alternative. Unsweetened tea and black coffee are also among the healthiest choices. The fourth most harmful is alcohol, including beer, wine, and spirits. Even in small amounts, it directly increases the risk of cancer. There is no safe dosage. Alcohol raises the chance of breast cancer, throat, liver, and colorectal cancer. When consumed, alcohol breaks down into acetaldehyde, a carcinogen that damages DNA and blocks proper cell repair. It also increases estrogen level, which is especially critical for breast cancer risk. Alcohol causes chronic inflammation and make it easier for other carcinogens to enter the body. The strongest link is with liver cancer, but the risk for breast cancer is also significant. Just one drink per day can raise your risk by about 4 to 7%. 2 drinks a day means increased risk around 15%, and 3 or more servings push the risk over 25%. The fifth most common food linked to cancer is smoked foods, especially smoked meat, fish, and cheese. There are two main mechanisms. First, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. The second is nitrosamines, which develop when nitrates used food preservation react to amine in proteins during smoking or high heat processing. These nitrosamines are also well-established carcinogens. Smoked foods can increase risk of stomach cancer almost 50%, especially in places like Japan, where high intake of smoked and pickled foods are a major factor. Esophageal cancer risk rises about 40% and colorectal cancer by 20% with regular consumption. The sixth is pickled foods like pickled vegetables and types of kimchi. They can increase risk of stomach cancer by around 20 to 50% or even more. The main reason is the high risk of salt intake. Salt damages the stomach lining and make it easier for carcinogens to form. High salt also helps to create nitrosamine during fermentation of storage, and nitrosamines are well-known carcinogens. There is no clear safe amount. Besides gastric cancer, pickled foods can increase risk of esophageal cancer and colorectal cancer. The seventh is salty foods. High salt directly damage the gastric lining, causes inflammation, and makes the stomach more vulnerable to carcinogens from food. Salt also increases the growth of Helicobacter pylori, which is the main cause of stomach cancer. Additionally, salt weakens the stomach protective barrier, making it easier for bacteria to cause harm. Salty foods can increase risk of stomach cancer up to 70% when intake in high amount. The risk of esophageal cancer also goes up to 30%. For other cancers, there is no strong link. Salty fish, pickled vegetables, instant noodles, restaurant foods, including fast food, McDonald's, and burgers, contain not only a lot of salt, but also high fat, preservatives, and processed meat. These combinations further increase risk of gastric cancer due to both salt and other harmful compounds. The eighth is fried food. High temperature cooking methods like deep frying, pan frying, or stir frying increase the risk of cancer. When oil gets very hot and begins to smoke, it creates carcinogens. For example, when the temperature goes up to 120 degrees Celsius or 250 Fahrenheit, heterocyclic amines are formed, especially in food rich in protein. Acrylamides develop in stretchy foods like potatoes, bread, and chips when they are fried or baked at high heat. When these foods change color and becomes darker, means acrylamides are formed, and acrylamides are well-known carcinogens which can damage DNA. Fried foods can increase risk of colon and pancreatic cancer about 20% and possible rise risk of breast cancer, prostate cancer, and esophageal cancer. Acrylamides are specifically linked to higher risk of endometrial and ovarian cancer. And ninth is full-fat dairy products. This can increase cancer risk because they rise level of insulin-like growth factor 1 in the body, which promotes cell growth and reduce cell death. Cow milk also naturally contains estrogens and other hormones which can elevate hormone levels and stimulate the growth hormone-sensitive cancers, especially prostate cancer. Fatty dairy products are closely linked to prostate cancer. Intake whole milk increase risk around 34%. High consumption full-fat milk can raise risk of breast cancer and ovarian cancer. Consuming more than 500 milliliters of whole milk per day. Your fridge shape your future. The more you avoid processed meat, red meat, sugary drinks, alcohol, salty, smoked, fried, and full-fat foods, the lower your cancer risk. Up to 40% of fewer cases just by changing what you eat. Every bite is a choice. It can help or harm. Make your fridge your ally. Start with your next meal because every choice matters.